Hey guys, what's up? Dingocrikey here with another commentary video, and in this one I'm going to be giving my thoughts on some recent Transformers 5 news. Now, this isn't huge news for all of us who have been waiting to find out, what robots are going to be in the film, what's going on with Optimus in space, will he find the creators, all of that kind of stuff, but I still wanted to give my thoughts on it. This news has to deal with the casting or potential casting of a lead actress for the film, and this comes from a story posted on The Wrap, which is basically an internet magazine, reports on movies, all of that kind of stuff. The story was put out on April the 13th, and it reads, quote, "Up-and-coming actress Isabela Moner is being eyed for a role opposite Mark Wahlberg in Paramount's Transformers 5. An individual familiar with the project has told The Wrap," end quote. So, just take into account where this news is coming from. We don't know whether it's official or not yet. I mean, the article itself states that it's from an individual familiar with the project, and the article even goes on to say that Paramount did not immediately respond to the comment, so I guess we'll have to see. But anyways, the article also states, quote, "Moner is poised to play the young female lead Isabela, a street-smart tomboy who grew up an orphan and was raised in foster care. She counts a small transformer as her only friend, until she meets Wahlberg's heroic inventor, Cade Yeager." And that's really the most relevant stuff that the article had to say. I'll post a link to the article in the description below, in case any of you are interested in reading it. But as for my thoughts on this, I mean, I'm still pretty skeptical, don't know whether this is true or not. Maybe this is a joke, maybe it's misinformation, something like that. But there's nothing that would really make me think this couldn't be legit. Anyways, what do I think of the description itself? I mean, at this point, I think it sounds like an okay premise for a character, this character Isabela. I mean, I don't want to sound pretentious, but to me this does sound like a kind of cliche, slap on backstory to give us some sympathy for the character. And, cliches and stuff aren't always bad, but given these movies' track record, I'm not thinking it's going to turn out well. Like, for me personally, the father-daughter relationship, we had an Age of Extinction between Cade and Tessa, turned out really bad on screen. Whenever the films have something like this, especially between the human characters, it can be handled a little bit better with the Transformer ones. But with the human characters, it usually feels like they think they need some kind of emotional backdrop to the film, an underlying theme, so they just throw it in there, and we get something that feels really cheap and inauthentic. And I think that's what we could be getting here too. We'll get the buzz lines like, "You're the best daughter in the world, I've got to go back for my dad," and all that kind of stuff. But they don't really make us feel the relationship. And, in part that could be because we all want to see more of the Transformers characters. But I'm not totally against human characters being a part, not necessarily the whole thing, but being a part of the movie if they're done well. I just don't think they've done it well up to this point. I'm not going to jump the gun and say it's going to be good or bad, but what I can't help but doing is looking at the film's track record and making some predictions based off of this. Even the fact that she's going to be a tomboy, initially that sounds kind of cool, but I don't think most media really handles those characters well either. In any case, I think we can be glad Megan Fox won't be coming back. But anyways, what about this small robot character, since this is definitely kind of intriguing, once again, if it is indeed true. A lot of people are speculating that this could be Wheelie or Brains. Personally, I don't think it would be either of the two. I would like it to be Brains, as that would help keep some continuity in the films, and I think Brains is a pretty cool character. Wheelie, not so much. I'm thinking, if anything, this would be a new character by looking at the film's track record, and also kind of looking at the premise. This character would have had to have been with her long enough to be kind of like her best friend, so him just showing up out of the blue, which would basically be the case for Brains, that really wouldn't make sense. I guess they could do it with Wheelie, but he's already been gone one film. I'm not thinking they're going to bring him back, but you never know. They did bring Barricade back for Dark of the Moon, despite him being forgotten in Revenge of the Fallen. Some people are speculating that it would be Fix-It, hence the introduction of the Minicons. I think that could be kind of cool, I wouldn't want them to handle Minicons in the way that they handled them in Armada, and I don't think that's likely. But if they were to do it as they did in Robots in Disguise, the new series, I think that could pan out pretty well, as long as they kept Fix-It's character pretty much the same. He'd be a cool character, one of my personal favorites in Robots in Disguise, and I could see him being friends to someone like this, 14-year-old girl, especially considering she's supposed to be a tomboy. She might be kind of annoyed with him at first, or we would get that idea when they first met, but I think both of them will warm up to each other. Fixit's a really nice guy, though some people can get on his nerves, but I think it could be pretty cool if it were handled right, and it will be nice to see a more nice, innocent friendship in the films. Hopefully the new writers will give us some stuff like that. One more thing that I wanted to touch on, kind of my personal problem with this casting altogether, is why does a character such as this belong in the Transformers universe? And this isn't just criticizing BayFormers, this is kind of a recurring problem in Transformers altogether. Personally, I don't have a problem with human characters in themselves. It's that Transformers always handles them the wrong way, or I guess, to put it better, they don't give us good human characters. She's a 14-year-old girl with a small robot friend, potentially a minicon, but either way, how does that contribute to the overall story? The war between the Autobots and Decepticons, the story with Bumblebee's team, Optimus's story. I mean, once again, we haven't seen the movie, we don't know how it's going to turn out, but looking at Transformers history, it never really makes sense, and it's obviously kind of pandering to what they think a younger audience wants. For example, the kids in Armada, they kind of had a connection with the minicons, and therefore they went on all these missions with the Autobots. Really didn't make a whole lot of sense, especially from the Transformers perspective, putting these kids in danger. And then later on in the series, they even go to take the kids into space. We kind of see similar things in Transformers Cybertron. Transformers Animated had some of these problems. They handled it a little bit better because of the situation with their human character, at least if memory serves right. In short, it's the types of human characters they have. They just don't fit with the universe. On the other hand, there are some that I think work out really well, such as Agent Fowler. Why do I think this? Because it makes logical sense that they would have this character interacting with the Transformers. For example, if the government found out that the Transformers, the Autobots, were on planet Earth, they kind of wanted to work out an alliance with them, it makes sense to have someone such as Agent Fowler, or I guess you would say it's kind of like a liaison, rather than just having some kids around because why? And even more, if they are going to just screw logic and put the kids in there, they can do that. It's a kid's cartoon. It's ultimately made to sell toys. You gotta kind of understand those things. But we still shouldn't have to sit through, like, Sam going to college or the kids going to high school. I mean, we've seen that in even some of the cartoons. So at least don't add so much of that, unless they can make it relevant to the plot in some way. Anyways, I'm kind of rambling at this point, so I'll wrap things up here. We don't know for 100% sure if this is true or not. I think it sounds like an okay premise for a character, but I have to ask, how does this fit into Transformers? And at this point, I really wish they would stop adding these kind of human characters to the story. Anyways, that's just my take on it. We'll have to see the movie to know for sure. You guys, though, can leave your thoughts and predictions in the comment section below, along with any suggestions for future commentary videos such as this one. It could be something like a predictions for the future Transformers films, or maybe there's a piece of news for Transformers 5 that you would like to hear my thoughts on. Anything like that, drop it off in the comment section below. You can also drop off suggestions for figure reviews, as I'm doing those now. And of course, if you like this video, want to see more cool stuff, you can keep up with the channel. Anyways, that's all I have to say for now. Thanks so much for watching, stay tuned, and have a good one, guys. I'll see you soon.